Hey everybody, what's up? It's Ryan Groos from the Loop Loft, and in today's video I'm going to give you a quick tour of our latest Reason Refill, The Art of Brushes Volume 3. And to get started, I'm going to show you some of the custom combinators we designed for this particular refill. The first one we're listening to right now is entitled Stepping Out, and it's based around a custom redrum patch that we designed for the refill. It takes all of the different samples of all the different kits that we recorded with a variety of different brushes, utilizing a variety of different drums. So, you know, vintage maple kits, birch studio kits, bebop jazz kits. There was a whole plethora of sounds that we pulled from to put all these samples together. So let's take a quick listen into those samples. Kick. You can hear that actually how the brush has a very characteristic sound that you don't get from sticks that we were able to bring into the redrum. The way they hit the toms, and they kind of have a soft attack, not quite as in your face as sticks. Same with the hi-hat, very kind of a subtle vibe to it. So loading that up, I'm going to scroll through some of the different kits here. The first one is called Up Funky. This is the 2-beat kit. You can hear it's a lot more punchier, rounder, and ringier. Swung Funky. This is kind of a dark, warmer vibe. I think this is one of the vintage kits we used. Stirred Slow. This is a bebop kit, so it has that really wide open jazz sound to it. But in this instance, we kind of programmed a funk beat, so sits well in a variety of settings. This is Melodic Toms. This is actually played with timpani mallets on the drum kit, kind of opening up a more, as it says, melodic quality to the drums. And this is the Driving kit, more kind of a pop-friendly, one of the birch kits, so definitely a lot more attack. Almost sounds like sticks, but still has the brush quality in the samples. So back to the Up Funky one, and I'm just going to quickly go through some of the different effects that are built into this combinator. So a nice sync delay, kind of a dotted 8 thing that is a dry wet control. A space roll. Really cool to drop in into an arrangement as a transition. Nice reverb. Bass booster if you just want to bring up the kick a little more. The bottom end. Squirt Dirt does pretty much what you would think. Squirts the dirt. Unison. It's kind of a nice stereo effect. The dangerous evil knob, and a deep resonator. So all kinds of different options right out of the box with this refill, with manipulating those brush samples and creating your own beats with the step sequencer. So let's stop that and head over to another combinator. This one is entitled Brushed Off. And again, this one is based around some of our redrum samples. And let's fire up a different kit here. Yeah, the 2-beat, that's got a nice fat tone to it. So check out some of these effects that are built in. Space Fuzz. The clock radio. You can never have too much clock radio effects. Stoned Roll, which does what you would think. The Dirty Knob, different from the Evil Knob, don't get those too confused. Kind of a really nice, warm, overdriven sound to it. Some more reverb. And a delay pan, so there's kind of a built-in dotted 8th delay in this combinator, which gives it that syncopated feel. So if you listen to the samples, it's actually triggering each one a dotted eighth note after the initial hit, and the feedback. Cool, so let's head over to our third combinator. This one is called Big Round Toms, and in this case, it's using one of our Dr. Octorex patches from the Melodic Toms kit. So let's fire this up. And let's change the tempo. We've been at 100 since we started here, so a little too fast. Let's try 115. And again, all of our Rex files are hand sliced, so you can really have some pretty crazy control over the editing capabilities, especially if you're in slice edit mode and you want to start manipulating pitches of each drum. And in the combinator, you'll see, since this is a Dr. Octorex player that it's controlling, we give you control over the loop slots in the rotary knob. So it's very easy to shift amongst different loops and find what you need. It's more of a backbeat. And let's check out some of these other effects. Unison. Kind of a robotic distortion thing. A long flange. Really takes a while to go around your head, but a very cool effect regardless. And this one we also utilize the alligator effect, which really does some trippy stuff. So you can switch the gator pattern. And a nice delay. So let's start layering up a beat just with these three combinators and see what we come up with. So I've got the Big Round Toms going. I'm gonna fire up the brushed off one again. And let's get to our mixer here. And fire up the stepping out. So right off the bat, utilizing three different kits, three different combinators, really nice options for layering and building up a drum track. And then within that, you can, of course, start tweaking all the effects. So if you really wanted to bring up kind of the clock radio effect, much more mid-rangey. And then over here, if you wanted to increase the bass boost on the stepping out combinator, kind of brings out the bottom end over the entire drum arrangement. So in those possibilities, I'm just scratching the surface and showing you how to pair up a few of the different combinators. Next, we're going to dive into the Kong samples, patches, and show you a little more of the Dr. Octorex player. So now we're going to check out some of the custom Kong patches we designed for the refill. The one we're listening to right now is called Stirred Slow. And as you can hear, it uses a lot of the snare stirring and swiping in the samples. So let's stop this and take a closer look. You'll notice we've got a main snare, but you still hear the brush hitting the head and the kick, and then a bunch of different options of different snare sounds. So a snare that's off, but again with the brush. So you can really get like kind of a realistic groove going with the ghost notes and the interplay in the backbeat. And then so if we switch to some of the other patches, we sampled 6 of the different drum sets that we used in the session. So let's hear what another one sounds like. Definitely kind of a darker tone on that one. And the Up Funky, again, is more kind of the studio poppy, but again, still the all with brushes. So I'm gonna go back to the Stirred Slow, and let's dive into this combinator a little bit. One cool feature is you can manipulate the pitch of the kick drum directly from the combinator. So if you really want to drop it down or up. Same with the snare. And some nice echo effects. Almost like a slapback delay. Gated verb, kind of an 80s power station drum sound all of a sudden. Lo-fi, and a roll delay. So now we're listening to one of our Dr. Octorex patches. This first one is from the Stirred Slow set. Originally recorded at 70 BPM, and it's got a nice brush pattern in the backbeat where you can really hear the snare being stirred. And the nice thing about each of these patches is the variety of the grooves that you can easily move around. So as you can see in the file name, when it says snare and snare, that means both hands are on the snare drum. And if you go to another file name where there's an RC, that means ride cymbal. So right off the bat we'll know, switching to that, you get a ride cymbal bass groove. And this one's a very open, sparse groove. This one has some more eighth notes and ghost notes. So there's 36 of these Dr. Octorex patches, and each one has obviously 8 different variations of a groove. So a great way to quickly scroll through and kind of randomize your grooves as you're constructing a song to get the feel of a real drummer. So let's try another patch here, the Swung Funky, and let's move it up to the original tempo at 93. So kind of a swung 16th feel. Actually swinging there with a 4 on the floor kick pattern, and then go into a backbeat. And kind of more of a hip-hop groove. And kind of a New Orleans thing. So you can see that the variety, even within each patch. So if I go to patch number 2, kind of a G-Love hip-hop groove. And now let's go to the 2-beat. And you can hear the production, on each of these sessions is different. So this kit, definitely more present with the kick drum and a drier snare sound. Nice syncopated thing. So let's just try layering this patch with a completely different one. Let's go to the Up Funky. So it's slower, so you can kind of hear the slices being stretched. Let's move it up just a bit. And bring in the melodic tom patch. So you can kind of see how all these different patches work together. All different drum sets, all different sessions, all different BPMs. But for layering, the brushes play so well together. A certain one doesn't dominate the other. They're just perfect for bringing in different ideas, especially if you get into the slice edit mode. Totally bringing a different vibe from where you started. So that's it. I could keep talking forever about this refill. There's so much content, but just wanted to give you a look inside and kind of show you what's there. So come to Loop Loft, check it out. You can download it instantly. And if you have any questions or comments, just leave a note here in the blog or on YouTube or Vimeo or wherever you happen to be watching this. And we'll talk soon. All right, guys, take care. See ya.